All right, we're going to do an introduction to the Lucas. This is our CPR device. Saves your wrists. It's a great compressor. It never fatigues, so high quality CPR. Big problem here. It's quite heavy. It's a full 25-pound sort of nugget here. So keep it in the bag. Ideally, keep it Velcroed and ready to go so that it's got these backpack straps. If you need to get to a code, you can do it and not struggle with carrying it as much. It does just kind of Velcro off like that. It's got these secondary restraint straps. We've got an integrated backboard. In addition to the integrated backboard, we've got the actual Lucas device itself. This is where all the weight of the device is. In here, we have a charging cradle, spare battery, etc. So in terms of the Lucas device itself, we've got a couple things we want to pay attention to. One is up top, we have these kind of VCR function buttons here. We've got our power button, turns it on, plunger depth setter, and then play, pause in terms of going through whether I'm doing compressions with a 30-2 or continuous, pausing for rhythm check, good to go. You'll also notice here we have wrist straps if you want to strap the patient's wrist like for a cardiac cath procedure. These rings here allow you to either catch or release the integrated backboard that we'll talk about here in a minute. Down here, of course, you can see the plunger. This is very important. We'll talk about setting the depth for that. And then here you have your power plug port. I want to make one quick point here. This battery is hot swappable. It lasts for 45 minutes of continuous CPR, and it takes about 4 hours to charge. So we want them to be able to work when we need them, so keep them essentially fully charged at all times. Getting it out is very challenging, and there's really no easy way to do it. It's just a matter of a little bit of brute force, unfortunately, so that's just what's up with that. So if you do need to swap the battery in code, don't look for a button to press, just give it a good solid yank up, and you'll be able to get that battery out of there if needed. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to simulate actually using the Lucas. First step, we're going to put the backboard underneath the patient. Once the backboard's underneath the patient, kind of get it up so that it's just underneath where their axilla would be at the top margin here. And then you would reach through. Now there's a couple cool ways to do this. If you've already turned this on in the bag, which actually is recommended, it's recommended that you turn it on before you've even removed it. It'll make its little starting chimes. If you've already turned it on in the bag and it's ready to fire, it's just a matter of getting these two arms to engage, and you'll hear when they do engage, they make a clicking sound. So we're going to simulate that with somebody actually doing CPR here for a second. So Alan, 1, 2. So I would come over here and I would get one on. I'd reach through his arm, get the other on, and I would say, okay, Alan, move away. Let's pause for plunger depth. Okay, plunger is set. I press play. Minimal interruption. You see how that worked? So I just kind of reached right through his arms, put one arm in, put the other arm in. Okay, let's clear for analysis. Okay, we're analyzing the patient's rhythm, shows VFib on the monitor. Go back to compressions. And then the cool thing about the Lucas is if I actually wanted to shock him right now, you don't have to clear the patient to shock. So I could literally just say, okay, shock on 3, 1, 2, 3, shock. And the Lucas keeps doing CPR the entire time. So you lose a lot of that off the chest time that you get in a traditional code. When humans, we have to back away and allow ourselves to kind of have enough space where we don't get shocked. So that's essentially the introduction to the Lucas. I don't have a whole lot else to say. If you have any questions, go ahead and hit us up on the floor.